We are live. Let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Welcome back to another live and amplified Indie Fusion podcast. I'm your host, Tom Quiet, and we're back at it again with another amazing podcast. Today, we have a very special guest joining us. We have Jordana Bryant. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for having me, Tom. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Tuesday. We'll put it that way. So
you're almost halfway through.
I'm trying so hard, but excited to have you back on. We haven't talked in a while. I think it was CMA Fest this past year. So how's everything been going? You got a new EP out, right? EP?
Yes, I do have a new EP going. Crazy that it's been that long. It's been almost a year, I guess, since CMA Fest. It's been great. It's been a really fun year. I've loved getting to write this project, record the songs with Nathan Chapman and Seth Mosley. It was so much fun going in the studio and kind of seeing these songs go from the writing stage to the fully produced songs to making music videos for them and putting the EP out. And it's just been great. I'm really happy that the project's out now.
Nice. And it's called Right Key, Wrong Porch, which I love that title. Can't tell you exactly why, but it just works. But
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So how long has the EP kind of been in the works?
I think I started writing for it beginning of 2023. A lot of the time when I'm writing, I'll kind of just be trying to capture the emotions that I'm experiencing. And then it's, as I'm creating these songs that I'm like, okay, wait, this feels like a body of work. Because so much of the time I am just putting out singles and I love putting out one song at a time. But I think that for this project, I had written a few songs and I was listening back to them and I was like, this really feels like a body of work that I want to put out. I think also I had been feeling like a lot of the songs that I wanted to share had this kind of overarching theme of, what do you do when something doesn't work out the way you want it to, and what do you take away from it, and how do you have faith and trust that what's meant to be will be. And I think that just in my life in the last year, I really felt like I was being given this lesson of it's, in those moments where it doesn't go how you wanted, you have to stay true to yourself and trust that there's a plan in works and that the right thing is out there for you. And if it didn't work out, it just means it wasn't the right opportunity for you. And so I really wanted to put together a body of work and a project that felt like it had that message and it shared that, because I feel like that was something that it really made a difference in my life once I kind of took that perspective, and I wanted to share that with my music.
Awesome. And so the EP's been out for just over a month because it released in March, correct?
Yes, March 14th.
How's it feel to have it out? How's it feel to have this project out? Like, is it obviously an EP is a huge undertaking, like it's a bit of a process to kind of get it out. But now looking back about 6 weeks or so, how's it feel kind of looking back on this release?
It's been awesome to have the project out. I feel like you work on something like that for so long that by the time it comes out, you're just so glad that other people can listen to it, because I've been listening to it and, working on it for so long. And I mean, we got in the studio to record the songs in probably like October, November. And we delivered the whole project to my team beginning of December. So it's been done for about 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
And it's just been really fun to have the whole project out there and to hear what people think, and got to go to LA and film music videos for all the songs, and we've been putting those out. I think maybe 3 of them are out, half of them are out right now. So that was super fun too.
Nice. I love music videos, especially for younger, more independent artists, just because I feel like it's a very raw and real experience, especially knowing that you don't have the multi-million-dollar, budget that like Chappell Roan or Jelly Roll or any of those people have. And you're just kind of taking this vision that you have and making it work any way you can. And
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
how was the experience of making these music? Because you said you made one for every song on the EP.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was a great experience. I feel like with music videos, like you're saying, when you're not doing these elaborate music videos that have other actors in them and big budgets and cool sets and all that stuff, you're kind of, I think, almost in a good way forced to focus on the emotion of the song and really just how do I get that emotion across visually and what is the right location for it. And it also, I think, too, kind of forces you as the person in the music video to really hone in on the emotion
Yeah.
that you had when you were writing the song, because it is so much of it, like when it's just performance footage, it's really like your expressions
Mm.
that either make the video interesting or make it not really interesting because you're not really like giving any emotion on your face, evoking any emotion. So I think it's always a challenge when you've heard a song so many times to get back to the root emotion that you
Yeah.
had when you wrote it. But I love that about it, and I feel like it's fun getting to see the song come together visually, because a lot of us, when you're writing the song, you have kind of a mental image
Yeah.
of what you're seeing when you're hearing these lyrics. And it was such a cool experience. We went to this beautiful beach, El Matador Beach, that's nearby Malibu, or in Malibu, I guess, to film the Turns Out music video. We went to this really dodgy loft in downtown LA to film Hot Mess. And I swear I've never been more terrified in my life. It wasn't like far from Skid Row, and so it was not really like a great place for like me,
Yeah.
my mom, like a small, like young female videographer, and like my hair and makeup, like full, all four small girls to like walk in the middle of downtown LA where it's like super sketchy.
Right.
But there was this super cool like all pink room that was just decked out in like Barbie pink, hot pink, light pink. So that was super fun, and it was just, I think that all of the music videos have something different about them and something cool and special. So I loved the process of getting to make them.
Nice. Yeah. It's I can't wait to see you said three of them are out and right, and you
Yes.
got two more to
So,
go.
Miles Don't Matter, the music video is out now. Remembering It Wrong, the music video is out now. And Hot Mess just came out last week. And then Something Like Us, Turns Out, and um, where have we released the When God Closes Doors one? I think that one still hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Check online. That's so bad that I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
That's hey, but you know what though? It's an ambitious undertaking in general. Like most people, they'll like do an EP or an album, and say, okay, I'm going to do one, maybe two music videos. But for you to go and say, you know what, we're going to do one for all of them, that's just ambitious. I love it.
Thank you. Well, I mean, we definitely didn't like, they're not the most elaborate, like, multi-day shoots,
Yeah.
but they're super fun. We found a cool location for each of them that felt unique and real for the song, and I think all of them came out really cool.
Nice. Now, is there like a through line through all six music videos, like that kind of connect them? Like if you were to sit and like watch Turns Out and goes all the way down to When God Closes Doors, is there like a connecting tissue through all of them? Or?
I would say not so much visually in terms of what we put in the music videos, but I think conceptually, to me, the EP very much has a string through it of, I really thought this was going to work out. I had my hopes up for this relationship. I had my hopes up for, this, and then it didn't work out. And I'm kind of making sense of that. And I'm trying to figure out why it happened and I don't understand. And now I'm finding the piece of, okay, you know what? If it didn't work out, it means it wasn't right for me. And I have faith that the right thing will come along. So I think to me, that's kind of the string that ties the songs on the EP together.
Awesome. Awesome. So with obviously you've still got some more music videos to go. Are you doing those every 2 weeks? How often are you releasing the music videos?
Yeah, we have been releasing the music videos like every other week or so,
Yeah.
but I have another song coming out, which I'm super stoked for, Out of the Blue, that comes out on May 9th, so next Friday. And that one is my first collab that I've really done. It's with another artist, Jordana Bryant. So we're going to take a little pause from the music videos and have that song come out, and then we have a music video for that song too. Um, and then we'll put out the remaining two or three music videos that are for the EP after that.
Gotcha, gotcha. Now, is there for your new single, was it always kind of the plan to do the EP and then follow it right up with another single, or was there kind of an initial conversation to kind of put this single as part of the bigger project?
We definitely did talk about putting this single on the project, but I really wanted to take the time to get it right and to have the right person on it. I knew right when we wrote the song that I wanted it to be a duet.
Hmm.
I felt like it would be so much stronger if you had two people. It's a love song, and I felt like it would just get that emotion across so much stronger if two people were singing it to each other. So I really wanted to make sure we found the right person for it and that we got it right. I think that when you're going in the studio to record a duet, it takes a lot more attention to detail to make sure everything lines up and figure out the parts. Do you want both people to be singing in harmony? Do you want to both be singing the octave? Like those small things that I think you might not necessarily think about do create an emotion.
Hmm.
When people are singing the same notes and singing, in an octave, it kind of gives the emotion that they're unified and together, and harmonies create a different emotion. And so I think that that was something I really wanted to make sure we took the time to nail. So it was something that we decided, let's put it out after the EP. And I also think it's a great way to give it its own moment, because since this is my first duet, my first
Yeah.
collab that I've done, I want it to kind of have its own moment. So I'm really excited for it to come out.
Nice. I was going to ask if this was your first duet. I was frantically going through your Spotify here to be like, I think it is, but I'm not sure. So, but yeah.
It is. It is. Yeah, I mean, I did like a DJ feature
Yeah.
before, but very different than like a collab with another artist.
Right.
And Joseph, who I cut the song with, is awesome. He has a great voice, and he's also just so fun to be with in the studio. And we had a great time cutting the song and filming the music video. And I can't wait for everyone to see and hear it.
Nice. So with this new single, it's dropping on you said the 9th on Friday. So next Friday. Yes.
Yes.
That's how days work. Next Friday.
Yeah.
Or yeah. So what's kind of, obviously you're in the middle of kind of wrapping up the full release of the EP, but you've also got this new single. So what's kind of running through your mind right now is you're kind of wrapping up one project, but it's starting a whole new release strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's definitely a delicate balance of how do I promote both things at the same time and not like completely forget about the EP, because it came out, yeah, 6 weeks ago, something like that. Well, I think it'll be like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
We had it to be like 8 weeks between
Yeah.
when the EP dropped and when this single came out. But also, you work on a project for so much longer than 8 weeks that you don't want to just forget about it after
Right.
that short of a time period. So I think it'll be an interesting balancing act of figuring out how to, share this new song and promote that, while also, drawing attention to this EP. And my hope is that people who are listening to this collab who might not have heard my music before will kind of have a body of work to sink their teeth into after hearing this song.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be able to kind of do both at the same time. But I think it's also like focus on one thing for one moment, and then, the next moment you can choose what else you want to focus on. And it doesn't have to be everything all at once, but you can kind of decide based on the moment what feels right.
Right. And that's one of the positive sides about how the music industry kind of is nowadays. Like, even if you're in kind of in the middle of promoting an EP or even an LP, like a bigger project, if you drop a standalone single in the middle of it, it all is going to the same place. It's not like back in the day where it's like you release an album and okay, you release a single, but it's not pushing to anything. Nowadays, because people listen on Spotify, they're all going to your artist page anyways. So it all kind of comes out in the wash a little bit. So
Absolutely. And I think kind of the beauty of social media, and a lot of people hate this about it, which is very valid, but I think it's also a great thing is that not everyone who follows you sees everything that you're posting, you know? So I might be feeling like, gosh, like they must be so annoyed with me posting this song for the 10th time
Yeah.
this week. But they might have only seen it, once or not at all. So I think that that kind of lets you promote a bunch of different things, and with the hope that this person will see this person will see that.
Yep. And it's all like, and I mean, like you said, that's just kind of how social media is. Like I've started doing that with some of the podcast clips that we do. Like I'll turn them into
Mhm.
verticals, and then every once in a while I'll go back and like recycle them and just kind of
Yeah.
not use the exact same one, but kind of change it up just a little bit so it feels a little bit different. But then people are like, "Oh, I've never seen this clip before," or "I've never seen this interview," and it's like, "I've posted this clip 12 times already." So, you know, and that's just
Yeah,
social media. So
it is just the name of the game, but you can use it to your advantage.
100%, 100%. So with the new single coming on Friday, where are you kind of at show wise right now? Are you playing pretty consistently, or are you more focused on recording, releasing, and kind of doing that whole gamut
I
of
def
things?
I definitely have been more focused on recording,
Yeah.
releasing. The three R's, not really, because writing has W, but kind of. Um, but I am going to be playing some shows this summer, and I've recently started doing some backyard concerts, which I've
Nice.
been loving. And I just played one on Saturday in LA, and the girls, I want to say, were probably like 7 to 11, and they were all so sweet. They were singing all the lyrics to my song New Friends and Miles Don't Matter. And for me, like the biggest thing I've ever wanted, the thing I've wanted the most has always just been to hear people singing my songs with me. And so like in those moments where I get to hear people singing my songs with me, it's just the coolest thing ever. And most of the shows that I've done up till now have been opening for someone else, which is a great experience. You get to hopefully introduce yourself to people who don't know your music yet, but they a lot of times, don't know your songs. So when you get to do shows, when I've gotten to do shows like this where the girls or the, audience have kind of heard some of my songs before and can sing them with me, it's just the coolest thing ever. And I think there's something really fun about how intimate a show is when it's in someone's home
Yep.
in their backyard. You get to, especially with the person who's hosting it, you get to really get to know them and hear about their lives and see
Yeah.
their whole community and see where they live. And it's a really cool experience. I've really been loving that.
Oh yeah, I've seen actually over the last year or so, more since the pandemic kind of ended over the last 2 or 3 years. I've seen a lot of solo like acoustic musicians do that. They'll do
Hmm.
like house show tours or backyard show tour. Like it'll
Yeah.
be very niche like that, and they say it's like it works out really well. Like it doesn't always pay like a big show, like if you were to go to like a listening room or a brewery or something like that, but it works out for them in the end. So
And I think that also when you're playing mostly opening gigs, it's definitely like on when I'm opening for someone, if it's a club show, a lot of the time you're either losing money or hoping to just break even. And you do it because
yeah,
are getting in front of an audience that hopefully will like your music and hopefully the demographics will be aligned. So you're doing it for exposure, but it's not something you're necessarily, even recouping your costs on.
hmm,
Whereas with a show like this, you kind of are able a little bit to say, okay, this is what my travel is going to cost. So, like, this is what, we have to do it for. And if that doesn't work for you, I totally understand. But it definitely, I think, gives you the chance to kind of, for each show, tailor it too. Because if there's a show in Kentucky where I can, drive up and back and I
yeah,
don't need, a flight or a hotel or anything like that, then it doesn't have to be like
right,
a ton of money. But if it's something that's, in California where I have to fly far or, somewhere else where it's, you can't get there really by driving, you need hotel, ends up being just, more expensive. So you can kind of tailor it based on the show. But I also feel like too, from like the audience perspective, there's something really cool about, having someone who you enjoy listening to their music, having them come to your home and
Hmm.
play for your friends. And I think with how expensive concert tickets have gotten, even for smaller shows, it
Hmm.
kind of in some ways makes it a little bit more it's a little more doable for people if you're splitting the cost with your friends,
Hmm.
if you have like a handful of people who are coming, it's surprisingly less expensive than you all getting tickets to a show.
Right, right. It's one of those things where it's like it's a unique experience that you're not going to get if you were to go to, I don't know, insert big arena here to go see whoever, or but like just like these background or these backyard shows where it's you and your closest friends listening to somebody you really enjoy listening to, and it's a really cool experience. I remember for like my 10th birthday, my neighbor had a band that everybody on the block listened to. Like we had all their CDs, all their homemade CDs. And for my birthday, my parents brought them over to play a show. And we talked about that for like 2 years straight. Like it was
Oh, I'm
the,
sure.
yeah. And it's like, it's a band that we've heard 100 times, but because they came and played my 10th birthday and it was a thing, it was an experience. So,
Absolutely. I love that.
yeah. So looking forward for everyone to check out your new single dropping on the 9th. Where can they find that? Where can they find you on social media? All that fun stuff.
Yeah, so that single Out of the Blue will be out next Friday, May 9th. You can hear that, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, all the places. Just search Jordana Bryant. I also post a ton of my music and unreleased songs and stuff like that on Instagram and TikTok, YouTube, and that's Jordana.Bryant for Instagram and TikTok. And I'm also launching a podcast on May 6th that's called New Friends with Jordana Bryant that's really focused on, you know, um, just kind of things that us teenage girls go through that I think sometimes feel too personal or messy or private to talk about. I wanted to just create a space where we could share all that unfiltered and have those conversations and hopefully create a space where you feel like you're just talking to a friend about what's going on in your life. So that'll be launching on May 6th, and you can hear
Nice.
that wherever you listen to podcasts. So I'm really stoked for that too.
I love it. I love seeing musicians are starting to now like really get into the podcasting space. I have a friend that they're doing a podcast about life on the road and just people that work on the road. And
Nice.
it's like just all these musicians that are starting to get into that podcasting space. I've been screaming it from the mountaintop for the last 6 years that y'all have y'all have a connection with people that I'm trying to build, like as far as like just being comfortable and talking to people and just kind of having this outgoing personality because obviously musicians, but just for independent musicians in general, I think having a podcast is a very smart thing. So
Yeah, I think you also too, I mean, like we were talking about the backyard concerts
yeah,
where we were saying that you get to connect with people on a different level. I think that when you're having 20-minute conversations versus, and you're posting that versus 20-second
yeah.
videos, you just connect with people on so much deeper of a level and they feel like they get to know you better and hopefully you get to know them better,
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. So, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully we get a chance to reconnect in Nashville and at CMA Fest or whenever it is. And I'd love to sit down and do it again.
Would love that. Thanks so much, Tom.
Yep, absolutely. Once again, thank you everybody for tuning in and we will catch you all later.